Hello everyone and welcome to the part 2 of Amazon CloudFront. So this lecture will contain all these topics: AWS service integrations, S3 integration nodes, application load balancer integration, API gateway integration, static website hosting, video streaming, API acceleration, dynamic content acceleration, multi-region failover, CloudFront versus global accelerator, CloudFront versus S3 transfer acceleration. So first topic, AWS service integrations. This slide shows the AWS service integrations with CloudFront. The diagram shows how Route 53 connects to CloudFront, which then integrates with various origins, edge compute services, and security services. So first we have Amazon S3. This service uses S3 origin config with origin access control as the integration method. The purpose is for static content and website hosting. Then we have application load balancer and network load balancer. This service uses custom origin config as the integration method. The purpose is for dynamic content and load balancing. Then we have API gateway. The service uses custom origin config as the integration method. The purpose is for API acceleration and caching. Next we have Route 53. This service uses alias record as the integration method. The purpose is for DNS routing to distribution, which supports APX domains and has no additional query charges. Then we have ACM, AWS Certificate Manager. This service uses Viewer Certificate as the integration method. The purpose is for SSL or TLS certificates. And the certificate must be in the US East 1 region only. Then we have AWS Web Application Firewall. This service uses Web ACL Association as the integration method. The purpose is for application layer protection and it must be in the US East 1 region only. Then AWS Shield. This service integrates automatically. The purpose is for distributed denial of service protection. Lambda at Edge. This service uses function association as the integration method. The purpose is edge compute with 4 triggers available. Then we have CloudFront functions. This service uses function associations as the integration method. The purpose is lightweight edge compute. Then lastly we have media package / media store. This service uses custom origin config as the integration method. The purpose is live and video on demand streaming with support for HLS-CMAF and smooth streaming formats. So these are all the format. HLS is HTTP live streaming and dash is dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP. CMAF is common media application format. Second topic, S3 integration nodes. So OAC security. So you use origin access control for security with bucket policies. You grant the CloudFront.AmazonAWS.com service principal access conditioned on this tag like AWS source ARN. New bucket behavior. So new S3 buckets may return HTTP 307 redirects for up to 24 hours during propagation. Third topic, application load balancer integration. Application ALB requirements. So the ALB must be internet facing to work with CloudFront. Restrict direct access. So use CloudFront managed prefix list in security groups or custom origin headers that the ALB validates to prevent direct access to ALB. Fourth topic is API gateway integration. Edge optimized endpoints include built-in CloudFront but without caching. They only provide connection optimization. Caching control. For caching control, use regional API gateway endpoints with your own CloudFront distribution. Origin request policy. So use the all viewer except host header origin request policy because API gateway expect its own host header. Restrict access methods. So there are 3 methods to restrict API gateway access to CloudFront only, and these are: you can have X API key custom header, Then you can have custom header validated by Lambda authorizer. And you can have lastly AWS signature version 4 signed by Lambda at edge. Fifth topic is static website hosting. So the diagram shows the static website hosting architecture. The user connects to Route 53 alias record, which points to CloudFront distribution. CloudFront uses origin access control to send signed origin request to the S3 bucket with restricted access. ACM certificate in US East 1 provides TLS. Custom error response handles single page application routing for 403 or 404 errors. So first we have S3 bucket. So use the S3 bucket as the origin, not as website endpoint, with origin access control for security. Cache optimized cache policy. So use this cache policy for long time to live to maximize caching performance. Redirect HTTP to HTTPS. Configure the distribution to redirect HTTP request to HTTPS for security. Custom error responses. So configure custom error responses returning index.html for 403 or 404 errors. This enables single page application routing. Default root object. So set the default root object to index.html. ACM certificate. The ACM certificate must be in US East 1. And Route 53 alias record. Create a Route 53 alias record pointing to the CloudFront distribution. Sixth topic is video streaming. So first, the diagram shows two streaming architectures. So for live streaming, AWS Elemental Media Live encodes the video, then Media Package packages it, followed by CloudFront Origin Shield, and finally CloudFront delivers to the viewer. For video on demand streaming, Amazon S3 or Media Package with HLS/dash serves as the origin. CloudFront caches with the long TTLs for segments and short TTLs for manifest. And signed cookies provide multi-file authentication. So VOD workflow will look something like this. So S3 or Media Package Origin. Use S3 or Media Package Origin with HLS- packaging for video on demand content. Then use long TTLs for immutable segment with .ts and .manifest M4s extensions. Then shorter TTLs. Use shorter TTLs for manifest with M3.M3U8 and .mpd extensions. Use signed cookies. So use signed cookies for authentication when dealing with multiple segment files. Next one is we'll cover the live streaming part. So Media Live to Media Package to CloudFront. So this is the recommended pipeline for live streaming. Use Origin Shield with this setup. It is highly recommended. Manifest TTLs. So manifest TTLs should be less than the segment duration to ensure viewers get updated playlist. Segment TTLs. Segment TTLs can be much longer since segments do not change after creation. Enables CMCD. CMCD is common media client data. So enable CMCD fields in real-time logs for quality analytics. Seventh topic is API acceleration. So the diagram shows API acceleration architecture. The client connects to CloudFront, which routes to AWS Web Application Firewall for rate limiting. Traffic then flows to either API gateway or Lambda at edge for authentication or transformation. And finally to application load balancer before reaching the backend services. So API gateway or ALB. So use API gateway or ALB as a custom origin for CloudFront. Caching disable policy. So use the caching disable policy for dynamic responses or use short TTLs for cacheable endpoints. All viewer except host header origin request policy. So use this policy to forward all viewer headers except the host header. Use web application firewall for rate limiting and security protection. Lambda at edge. So you can use lambda at edge for request transformation or authentication at the edge. Eighth topic is dynamic content acceleration. Even with TTL equal to 0, CloudFront provides the value through the following methods. Persistent TCP connections. CloudFront maintains persistent TCP connections to the origin with keep alive up to 60 seconds. TLS session resumption. So CloudFront uses TLS session resumption to reduce handshake overhead on subsequent request. Request collapsing. CloudFront collapses multiple simultaneous requests from the same object into a single origin request. Routing through AWS backbone network. So CloudFront routes traffic through AWS backbone network rather than public internet for better performance. Ninth topic is multi-region failover. So the diagram shows multi-region failover architecture. Route 53 health checks provide DNS backup. CloudFront distribution connects to origin shield in the primary region. The origin group contains the primary region in region A and secondary origin in region B. On error, traffic fails over to the secondary origin. Failover triggers on 500, 502, 503 and 504 HTTP status codes. So first we configure the origin group. Configure an origin group with primary and secondary origins in different regions. We set the failover criteria for the 500, 502, 503 and 504 status code to trigger failover. We enable the origin shield in the primary origins region for better cache efficiency. You can use Route 53 health checks. So these Route 53 health checks for DNS level failover as a backup mechanism. 10th topic is CloudFront versus Global Accelerator. So the decision flow diagram shows how to choose between CloudFront, Global Accelerator and S3 transfer acceleration based on requirements. If you need caching or edge compute, choose CloudFront. If you need static anycast IPs, choose Global Accelerator. If you need non-HTTP protocols like UDP, TCP or IoT, choose Global Accelerator. If you are optimizing uploads, choose S3 transfer acceleration. Otherwise, CloudFront is best for downloads. So first criteria is OSI layer, which is the network layer. So CloudFront operates at layer 7 using HTTP and HTTPS. Global Accelerator operates at layer 4 using TCP or UDP. So this is the main. So depending on which protocol you are working with, you have to choose the right one. Right application, it could be CloudFront or Global Accelerator. Then caching. So CloudFront supports caching, but Global Accelerator does not support caching. Then edge compute. CloudFront supports edge compute with Lambda at edge and CloudFront functions. There are two options. Global Accelerator does not support edge compute. Static IPs. So CloudFront does not provide static IPs. Global Accelerator provides two anycast IPs. Failover. CloudFront uses cache-based failover. Global Accelerator provides instant regional failover. Choose CloudFront for web content, APIs, and media streaming use cases. Choose Global Accelerator for non-HTTP protocols such as UDP gaming, voice over IP, and IoT/MQTT, which is message queuing telemetry transport protocol. Also choose it for static IP requirements and deterministic failover without caching needs. And last topic is CloudFront versus S3 transfer acceleration. So first, CloudFront optimizes downloads through edge caching. S3 transfer acceleration optimizes uploads using edge locations as the ingress points. Files under 1 GB. So files under 1 GB with frequent access favor CloudFront due to caching benefits. Large uploads over 1 GB favor transfer acceleration for better upload performance. So both can be used together. So CloudFront and S3 transfer acceleration can be used together, and you can use, for example, CloudFront for downloads and transfer acceleration for uploads. And that's all. Thanks for watching.